It's a win. East, maybe the East. I feel like in the East we might have the same six, but just in different order, or at least five of the six. So I'm going to lead. I think the Bucks will be leading the conference again. I think 76ers will be right behind them. Celtics will still be lingering around third. The Heat will finish at fourth. I think that age, those injuries are going to weigh on a little bit more than it did last season. And then I'm going to reward the two teams that made trades on the offseason. I'm going to go with the Cavs at fifth and the Hawks at sixth. How'd you go?
We got 5 out of 6.
All right.
So that's not too bad. You know what? The East was probably a little bit easier to order. I think there's definitely some teams there that are not top 6 contention at this point. That's not the feel at the moment. I've got, obviously, in my order here, I've got the Celtics with the best record. Look, you know, their biggest hurdle, and you're probably going to agree here, is the coaching situation. But you know, is it Joe Mazzulla? Is that his name? You know, suddenly we got a new name here. We got to learn, right? I think he was on the staff anyway, so it's a continuation of what they were doing. So I think they're going to keep rolling. That's obviously why I put them in the first seed in the East here. I've got the Bucks at number 2. I've got the Cavs at 3, and I was obviously high on the Cavs obviously last week. I think they're going to, you know, come out of the East. So I've got the Raptors at 4. I think you're sleeping on them, man. You didn't put them on that list. All right, they won 40 something last season. I think 48. We was at 46. And they haven't made any real changes to their roster. Scotty Barnes is only going to get better. And Siakam was injured half of the season. He came in, I think, you know, 40 games in and really sort of wasn't, you know, really that effective to an extent until sort of, you know, late in the season. Then obviously by sheer virtue of these numbers, I've got 76ers at 5th. Okay, and obviously the Heat just scraping at a 6th seed here, but you know, I don't think the Heat really care where they seed. You know, I think they show that in the bubble. They just want to make the playoffs and then go from there.
I think the Toronto sleeping is warranted. You know, yes, they gave Philly a bit of a run in the playoffs last season. They've picked up Otto Porter Jr. in the offseason, and hopefully, you know, they get some health back from Van Fleet, Anunoby, and Siakam. But I think it's just one of those things that unless Scotty Barnes becomes like a Paul George-esque sort of progression where he goes from like a really nice prospect, does a lot, to an actual star, I don't see them competing as highly as you do, but that's okay. Obviously, we've both neglected to put Brooklyn on the list. There's so much talent there, but what a cesspool, what a tire fire. It's just, they could be the number 1 seed. I think it's an okay thing to say. The talent is there, and if it somehow clicks, it clicks. But you know, we don't have that track record anymore to give them that credit. And who was the other team I was you know, thinking about? I was like, oh, maybe the Magic. Maybe the Magic will creep in there.
The top 6. Really, are you dreaming, man?
But yeah, look, the East, I think the West, you could make a case and say it's 11 or 12 teams competing for the playoffs at this point, whereas the East is more like 6 or 7. I know Washington and Charlotte are going to act, and the Knicks are going to act like they're going for the playoffs, but they're in a weird mid-tier where they might make the playoffs, but that's the best that it gets for them, but they should really tank, but you know, they won't. So it'll be interesting. But you know what? Maybe some of these teams will get mentioned in the next segment that we're going to film tonight, even though this may be out of context for the video, but that's all right. You'll edit me out.
That's all right. I think this is going to be a good video to come back to in 6 months' time or so, and let's see how close we were, how far off we were, right? To some of these people.
We can do a live react to our video and that content for the 6 months in the
All right.